The story of O.J. Simpson is a chronicle marked by a meteoric rise and a tragedy that echoed for decades. In the annals of sports, his name became synonymous with excellence and unparalleled achievements. However, what began as a narrative of triumph and glory eventually led to a tragedy that would shake the foundations of American society. In the 1960s, O.J. Simpson emerged as a young prodigy in college American football, climbing the steps of fame and success on the playing field. His athletic feats were nothing short of extraordinary, elevating him to the status of a living legend in the world of sports. His talent was a fusion of brute strength, agility, and a unique vision of the game, qualities that made him an American football icon. However, O.J. Simpson's meteoric rise was not limited to the field. The world of entertainment opened its doors to the athlete, turning him into a charismatic and captivating figure. His magnetic presence on the big and small screens transcended the boundaries of sports, making him a pop culture icon. Nevertheless, behind the glare of the spotlight and the playing fields, O.J. Simpson's personal life was marked by a tumultuous and dark history. His relationship with Nicole Brown Simpson, his wife and mother of his children, was a whirlwind of ups and downs, often overshadowed by a shadow of violence and conflict. Reports of abuse emerged from a union that, at first glance, seemed to embody the American dream but was, in reality, corroded by tensions and disagreements. On June 12, 1994, the long-anticipated tragedy finally materialized. The news of the brutal murder of Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend, Ronald Goldman, shocked the nation and set off a series of events that would shake the United States to its core. The crime scene was a tapestry of horrors, a setting that seemed to narrate a story of unfathomable violence. From that point on, the world's eyes turned to O.J. Simpson as the prime suspect. The tragedy that unfolded that night seemed to be the tragic epilogue of a tumultuous relationship marked by abuse. The shadows of the past projected onto the present, casting doubt on the guilt of a man who had once been adored as a sports hero and an entertainment star. It was the beginning of a saga that would divide the nation and forever mark the history of the American judicial system. The trial of the century. The trial of O.J. Simpson was more than a legal battle. It was a media spectacle that captivated the world. Broadcast live to millions of viewers, the case unfolded before the watchful eyes of a global audience. The courtroom scene became the epicenter of a drama that seemed taken from the pages of a Hollywood script. O.J. Simpson's defense, led by a team of renowned lawyers, adopted an aggressive strategy. They questioned every piece of evidence presented by the prosecution, arguing that the evidence was circumstantial and that the investigation had been tainted by bias and errors. The prosecution, in turn, was determined to prove Simpson's guilt. They presented meticulously collected forensic evidence, key witnesses, and a narrative that pointed directly to the former player as the perpetrator of the murders. The trial was filled with memorable moments, from O.J. Simpson's famous high-speed chase in a Ford Bronco, broadcast live to the world, to emotional testimonies and meticulous attention to forensic details. Each witness was a crucial piece in the puzzle that the prosecution and defense were trying to assemble. The atmosphere in the courtroom was electric, with emotions oscillating between tension, drama, and suspense. The legal battle extended for months, and the nation eagerly awaited the verdict that would determine O.J. Simpson's fate. The conclusion of the trial was not just a sentence on a man, but a reflection of the deeper dilemmas of American society: race, class, celebrity, and justice. The verdict and the enduring legacy. On October 3, 1995, the world stopped to hear the verdict that would decide O.J. Simpson's fate. Television cameras broadcast live to a global audience as the judge announced the decision. O.J. Simpson was declared not guilty of the murders of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman. Shock and disbelief spread across the country. Opinions diverged, and interpretations of the verdict were as diverse as the nation witnessing it. Some saw in the decision a sign of justice, a response to the perception of racial bias in the judicial system. Others, however, felt that justice had failed, and a murderer was being set free. The case of O.J. Simpson left a lasting legacy in American culture. Deep divisions were exposed, with many seeing the verdict as a reflection of racial tensions in the country. The tragedy that culminated in the trial of the century echoed through the decades, serving as a catalyst for debates on race, justice, and celebrity in the United States. The story of O.J. Simpson continues to be a point of discussion and analysis, a striking example of the complexities and contradictions of justice. The acquittal of a man who had once been a sports and cultural icon remains one of the most controversial chapters in the history of the American judicial system. leaving questions with no definitive answers about the guilt or innocence of a man whose life was a mosaic of triumph and tragedy.